Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the front porch. The back porch farmers on the front porch this afternoon. It's a lovely day here in Mr. Lincoln's hometown, about 70 degrees, sun is out. Very nice. After talking to a couple of my friends yesterday, they gently pointed out to me, actually, they asked me a couple of questions and made me aware of the fact that I left out a couple of things when I was trying to get you all started on your straw bale garden, so I wanted to jump back in here and cover those before you got too far into it. So let's talk about the bales again for just a minute. Again, you know, it doesn't make any difference how golden yellow they are, how new they are, how old they are, as long as they're still together, holding together by either wire or a twine or the nylon rope that a lot of them come in now. That's fine. But you need to set them on the cut edge, and that is, for some of you who may not know the difference, cut edge is, well, you can actually see the straw, the ends of the straws, and that the side, or the flat side, is what I call it. The flat side has that's where your wires are, your twine or nylon. So they go down on the side, cut side, up and down. And that is mainly, we do it that way. It's mainly for drainage. You know, it'd be a little harder to get your fertilizer and even to transplant, to get it worked into the straw. So you want to cut side up. Ideally, when you're setting them up, you want to put them end to end and running north to south, which gives them the opportunity to have the most amount of sunlight. Sun comes up in the east, goes down in the west. Again, don't have to do that. This is not exact science. You know, I've seen, if you go and do a search on YouTube, people come up with some really cool ideas. There are some folks, all they do is grow flowers in these straw bales, and so they'll stack them like in a corner and make more than one layer. They'll put like, 2 or 3 layers of straw, like stair steps, and they'll plant flowers on the tops and even in the sides of these bales. And it looks really cool. If that's your thing, that works great too, and they'll work very well for that. But again, depending on your layout, if I lived on the farm, for I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years on our farmstead out there with my mom before I got married again, and had a lot of space there. We had an 80-acre plot in the spot where the house and the barn and the pond were. I had all kinds of room for bales, and so there was one year I had 45 straw bales, which that's a little labor intensive starting out, trying to fertilize 45 bales every day for 10 days and water them, and running. Of course, I weren't that near the house, so I had to run hoses to them. So, whatever kind of space you have is fine. I don't know if I mentioned before, you don't even have to have dirt. You can make a straw bale garden on your concrete driveway or gravel, or even if you have bad dirt. A straw bale garden is perfect for that. And so, like I said, so just, you can stack your bales or run them whatever's most convenient for you, but the ideal way is end to end, running north to south like a football field. On to the fertilizer. When you start out, I believe I said this, you want your fertilizer to be at least 10 parts nitrogen, your NPK numbered. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. And you want that nitrogen number to be at least 10, which that's what I used for the first 6 or 7 years I did this. I followed right. I went and got a bag of 10, 10, 10. Well, last year, for whatever reason, I decided, let's try something a little more than 10. So I used a 30-part nitrogen, and it actually got the cooking in the bales going a little bit faster, broke down, and worked out great. So you can do either way, but it needs to be at least 10 parts nitrogen starting out for your first 9 days, and then on the 10th day, you want to just go 10 parts, 10, 10, 10, because now you want to get a little phosphorus and a little potash into the bales also to help get them cooking and get them going, getting them ready to plant. And the other thing is, I knew I forgot this too, when you're picking your fertilizer, make sure you check the bag. No weed killer. You do not want any weed killer in there. All right? Feel free. If you got any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I know I'm trying to get better at this as I go along. Those of you that know me know I don't have any problem talking. I'm like my dad, I'm a great talker or a long talker, good storyteller. I like that type of thing. But talking into this camera is a little bit different. But you know, I'm starting to get a little more relaxed. Leave me some comments. You know, hey, try this, do that. What about this? You know, I love to hear from you. Ask me some questions. Give me some pointers. I'm not an expert at this. This is not an exact science. You can go and find many garden videos on YouTube. If you want to just sit, the good thing to do if folks are sitting at home a lot like we are, we're on lockdown here in Illinois, pretty much in quarantine. Great time to learn all kinds of things about gardening, you know, homesteading. You know, I mean, I'm thinking about getting some chickens in the backyard here because we can do that here in Springfield. I think we can have 3 or 4 hens, and I'm thinking about getting some because I got enough space over in one corner behind the garage. I can just put some chicken wire along one wall, and there's already a natural fence there, you know, or a board fence, and so it might be another experiment, be topic for another video in the future. Anyway, love to hear from you. Hope everybody's doing well. Follow the guidelines. I know it's tough. Folks are getting depressed and bored. I just made a couple of calls to some friends in my choir at church just to check in on them. You know, they're single folks living by themselves. You know, they don't have a house full of people like I do here. You know, you're going to be meeting them, you know, at some point in time as we go along here too. But I've got, between my wife and I, we have 9 kids. We've both been married before, so we have a large family. My kids range in age from Michael, who's my oldest son, he's 40, down to our youngest, William Levi Rockwell Anderson, will be 3 years old here in just a couple of weeks on the 29th of April. Yeah, that's another story for another time too. Anyway, so again, I hope you're all doing well in the quarantine, and God bless you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.